Hey guys, so I decided to film the video on one of my friend's docks. So I figured as I started walking up this dock, and it was so beautiful, that I should just take this moment and have you walk with me before I sit and chat with you. So I've been very glad that I am make more videos. Again, no commitment, because then my obsession might take me in a direction where I'll be very busy to not be able to make a video. You remember when my obsession was making videos? That's when I made one a day for 90 days. But yeah, so I have another one for you today. So I'm getting to the end here. I'm gonna sit down so we could chat. Hi guys, thanks for walking with me. Here I am in this beautiful scene, being able to sit here with my puppy, even though I think she's a little bit scared of being here, so you might hear her whimper. But something that came to mind I talked about the other day, and I figured I might as well go here finally, is some of my feelings on face masks. And I'm not going to sit here and talk about the efficacy of a face mask, but I do want to talk about what I saw once I started like imposing it, and what I think like it represents, and then like the divisiveness of it. Sorry. So when they started imposing face masks, first of all, when the shutdown occurred, I was like, uh-oh, this is really bad. Like, we're gonna go really far here, and we're never coming back. And really, we might never come back. I mean, where I live in Florida, it's like COVID's not here. Praise God. And the numbers in Florida are great, and like Florida's wide open. So anyway, but regardless, there's changes that have occurred that we're never going to come back from, like places that have banned churches from meeting, even though that's our First Amendment right. Is it our First Amendment right? I'm not sure which amendment, so sorry. But basically our freedom to gather religiously shall not be infringed. I'll get the right amendment. I feel super embarrassed right now. Like, whoa, but it is what in the Constitution, because part of the founders, they left Britain for the purpose of being able to have this freedom. And by the way, for those who don't understand separation of church and state, separation of church and state is so that a church never has the power over the state to tell people how to worship, or like what religion is the religion. That's what that is. Not that you can't bring Jesus or Judeo-Christian values, which is what this nation was built upon, into the courthouse and into the rule of law. So FYI. But okay, everybody uses it for their their bag, their advantage. Anyway, so with all that being said, when the shutdown started to happen, I was like, whoa, this is not good. And seeing churches not stand up and fold, that wasn't good either. And I'm really proud of my pastor down in Miami. Super proud, because of all the churches I know, I mean, I'm sure there's a few more who did the same thing, because he's not the only one, but he never shut down. Not one day, not one Sunday, not even in the first 2 weeks, in the second set of 2 weeks. I'm so proud of him. And finally on Easter, which was I think April 6th, which was like a month of the shutdowns, I think, or mid-April. Finally on Easter 2020, I went to church. I was like, I'm not going to live in fear. And what happened when I was at church? Number one, they put social distancing, like the chairs, all this stuff. Number two, nobody was there because everybody was scared to go outside. So it was like the safest place I could go. Like nobody was going to get sick at my church. But I decided to start living regular from mid-April. And everything's been fine. But, so that's already been a year ago. And anyway, saying all that, when it all happened, I said, whoa, this is not good. Powers at B are gonna take advantage of this. Like, I was really afraid. And surely enough, everything that I thought would happen, not exactly like the things that happened, but the attitudes towards this situation being taken advantage of for people with interests that aren't the interests of the American people and aren't the interests to keep us safe or healthy, but other interests. I knew. And so what happened was, once they started introducing the mask stuff, the moment I heard the language that Fauci used when he said you should wear it, the moment I heard the language, sorry, I don't know what's on my nose, which was, oh, by the way, it won't protect you. It will protect those around you. That right there was one of the biggest red flags ever. I come from Venezuela, a communist country. So therefore, I'm very intimate. Oh, and my dad was born during World War II in Germany. So I'm very intimate. He has a swastika on his birth certificate, by the way, not because he wasn't a Nazi, but because either you're a Jew being taken to the camp or you're not Jew, and you're going to be under the government of the German government. And he has a swastika on his birth certificate. So I'm very, very intimate with communism. And the moment I heard Fauci with his declaration of the mask and that'll help others and not you, red flag, red flag, red flag. Why did he say that? Why did he say that? You know, any person who would care about the United States of America, about the people of the United States, they would just say, we recommend masks. We have seen that there is efficacy. If most people would wear it, that could really help with preventing the spread, especially when you can't social distance. And then it turned into, anyway, masks and 12 feet apart. I mean, ridiculous, but beyond that. But the point of the story is, if he would have had any sense or care for us, he would have said that. He would have said, just put it on because we have seen there's efficacy to slow the spread if most or everybody would wear masks. And of course, let us choose because we're Americans. That's part of being an American. You're not forced. You're not imposed to worship any other god or a god. You're not imposed to put something on your body. So anyway, like a mask. And I, when I heard that, that was a red flag. I was like, okay, of course use that language because now the people will force other people to wear it. The sheep will force the other sheep to wear it. The sheeple. And I was like, this is not good. These are our alarms. So once I saw that, I was like, uh-oh. And then what happened? What happened? Videos coming out. Lady getting tased for not wearing a mask, like in Ohio. This is like in last year, like June or something. Ohio, like school, like outdoor football game. Yet all the while, she was tased by like a police officer for not wearing a mask outdoors. All the while, there was criminals being released. One in Tampa because COVID, COVID's going to spread in the jail. One was released out of Tampa that 24 hours upon his release, he murdered somebody. So we're arresting regular folk, law-abiding citizens for not wearing a mask, but releasing criminals that then commit murders. What? Okay. So then the next thing, I started seeing videos of people at supermarkets yelling at other people not wearing a mask, saying, you want to kill me? F you, screaming at each other, all crazy. Because the crowd, the mob is going to force everybody to comply. So what do I see? What am I talking about with a mask? So I'm going to show you this picture of what they used to call the iron bit in slave days. That was also the thought I had. So here's the picture. So also when the mask started, that was the first thing that came to my mind too. It's being forced to put something on your body even if you don't want to. What does that remind you of? Okay. So anyway, with all of that said, again, this is not even an argument of the efficacy. It was all the red flags with the imposing forces of the government beyond what they should ever have imposed based on our Constitution, and what it means for the future. Like we are not communists yet. We're getting close. No, but we are not there. But it's just the first step, the first grab, and they succeeded. And people just bowed. Like, why am I proud of my pastor? Why am I proud of him? Because he didn't bow. Period. Church was declared in Florida an essential service. So it wasn't even shut down by the police. And yet pastors folded. Like, what the heck? What is wrong? I can't even believe it. It's so sad. And going back like to the numbers and everything, like earlier on in COVID, I was following super closely the numbers, super close. And now I haven't, which one of the latest stats I heard was that like the death rate was like 0.2 or something like that. But when I was following COVID super close, it was like 0.2 something. It started from like, higher because we still didn't have all the data, and it started going down and down and down and down. And I was at like 0.3. And by the time I was at like 0.3, I'm like, why are we doing all this? Because the flu with a flu shot is like 0.17 every year. Now, of course, like everybody has to give this disclaimer, which is also idiotic. I don't want anybody to die. Like, I don't. That's not my goal. And the fact that we have to say that is stupid too. But no matter what, there is no way you can leave the house. Even in your house, there's no way of living no risk. That's no such thing. Like, just going outside, you're taking a risk. Just going to Publix, you're taking a risk. You know? Anyway, so with all of that said, the numbers are way too low for the precautions that have been set in place. Like I said, Florida's way open, especially where I live right now. And the numbers are better than closed states. So that tells you something about these measures, are they working? But basically it was a control grab, a government control grab. And we need to have our eyes open. And we need to ask God for eyes to see, for scales to be removed off our eyes so we can see things clearly. Whatever that is. And everybody's on their own journey with that situation. I mean, truth is truth, period. So at the end of the day, whether that is today, whether that is in 10 years or 50 years, truth will be truth. The intentions behind what happened, how, if it was a good idea or not, whether we'll ever even know, there's still a truth. And we can ask God to show us that truth, to remove the scales off eyes. Paul, when he was persecuting the Christians by following the law, when he was known as Saul, he really truly believed that that was what God wanted, because he was a righteous, law-abiding Jew. And he went after these Christians. He was killing them. And he believed that's what God wanted until the scales fell off his eyes and he could see truth. So, with that said, pray for truth. Pray to God. And if you don't believe in God, say, God, if you're really there, show me, because he will. But pray to God for truth, and he will start revealing things. But basically, I wanted to share this video just to say that this whole situation of COVID, the mask and all that, is a power grab. It's an imposition, and it's just the beginning. And as a Christian, I am not too concerned with the details of mask or communism or this or that, except, I mean, maybe the Antichrist might be raised up in communism. We'll probably be raised up in communism. I mean, we saw it with Hitler. Hitler was like a foreshadowing. But I'm not so concerned with losing the United States to communism. It makes me absolutely sad. So sad, because this has literally been the best nation on the planet that's ever existed in the history of the earth. The most free, built on Judeo-Christian values, and what they're trying to do is get rid of them. Isn't that funny? But those values are what gave the freedom, not imposing will, letting you choose who you want to worship, letting you choose and how to worship, not imposing it. So anyway, it makes me absolutely sad, but I'm not out here to preserve the United States. We may very well never come back for this. May very well. And so I'm not so concerned about that. But basically, it's having eyes to see what's happening so you are prepared. And this whole COVID thing and the mask thing and everything and the imposition and the government control, this is a power grab. So get ready. It's only the beginning, truly. And put your trust in God, because no matter what, He will see you through.